Picture this: you're at a party or a crowded work event. There's a low hum of chatter, the clinking of glasses, a sea of smiling faces. All around you, people are performing the intricate and often exhausting dance of social interaction. They are networking, they are charming, they are laughing just a little too loudly. But your eyes drift, and you notice something. There's always one person. Maybe they're in the corner, maybe just sitting quietly at a table, not staring at their phone, but simply observing. And almost instantly, a question might pop into your head, one we've all been conditioned by society to ask. Are they okay? Are they shy? Are they lonely? We see their stillness and we project a story of lack of social deficit onto them. But what if we've been asking the wrong question all along? What if their silence isn't a sign of emptiness, but of fullness? What if the real question we should be asking is, what do they see that everyone else is too busy performing to notice? What currents of insecurity, what flickers of inauthenticity, what quiet pleas for genuine connection are they picking up on that the rest of us are drowning out with our own noise? Today, we're going to explore one of the most misunderstood aspects of human personality, not as a weakness, but as a hidden superpower. We're going to dive deep into the psychology of the quiet mind and uncover why the person who says the least in the room is often the one who understands the most. This isn't just a simple discussion about introverts and extroverts. It's about two fundamentally different ways of processing reality. And one of them, the one our society so often dismisses, is a source of incredible and largely untapped power. To truly understand this, we have to go back to the source, to the brilliant Swiss psychiatrist who first gave us the language for it, Carl Jung. You see, when Jung coined the terms introvert and extrovert nearly a century ago, he wasn't creating simple labels for shy or outgoing people. He was describing something far more fundamental, the natural direction of our psychic energy. For Jung, our core life force, what he, like Freud, called the libido, wasn't just about primal drives. It was our essential psychic energy. And he observed that for some, this energy naturally flows outward, toward the external world of people and events. For others, it flows inward, toward the internal world of thoughts, feelings, and ideas. This leads to a fundamental difference in what we could call psychic energy economics. Think of it this way. Jung proposed that extroverts are like solar panels. They are literally energized and charged by external stimulation, by social interaction, by attention, by the vibrant chaos of the outer world. The more they get, the more alive and charged they feel. But introverts, he suggested, operate on a completely different system. They are more like highly sophisticated, rechargeable batteries. They generate their own energy from within, in the quiet spaces of reflection, solitude, and deep focus. Social interaction, especially the shallow, performative kind, doesn't charge them. It drains the battery, sometimes at an alarming rate. And modern neuroscience is beginning to confirm what Jung observed. This isn't just a metaphor. It's a reflection of real differences in our neurobiology, in how our brains respond to stimuli like dopamine. This means that for the introvert, energy is a precious, finite resource that must be invested with wisdom and intention. They aren't antisocial. They are, in a very real sense, energetically selective. And this very selectivity, this constant unconscious calculation of, is this interaction worth the energy cost, forces them to develop a highly sensitive piece of psychological equipment that many people let rust. It's a finely tuned, almost unerring authenticity radar. Have you ever had a conversation where someone's words were perfectly pleasant, perfectly charming, but you walked away feeling strangely exhausted and empty, as if you just ran a marathon you don't remember signing up for? That feeling, that is your authenticity radar at work. Let's imagine a woman named Clara on a first date. On the surface, it's a perfect interaction. Her date is witty, he tells great stories, he laughs at all the right times. He is presenting a flawless social persona, the mask of the ideal, charismatic partner that Carl Jung described. But Clara's internal radar, that quiet observer in her psyche, is picking up on dissonant signals. The smile, she notices, doesn't quite reach his eyes. The laughter feels a beat too loud, more of a performance for the room than a genuine expression of joy. The questions he asks, They seem designed to get a specific response, a compliment, a validation, not to genuinely know her. He's not connecting, he's performing. An energy system wired for extroversion might not even register this, feeding off the positive social signals on the surface. Clara's introverted system, what psychologist Dr. Elaine Aron might identify as that of a highly sensitive person, is different. It's not just hearing the words. It's deeply processing the massive amount of data underneath them. The subtle shifts in tone, the fleeting micro-expressions, the underlying energetic intention. It's an unconscious search for congruence between the mask and the soul. It's like her brain is running a complex diagnostic program in the background of the conversation, constantly scanning for authenticity. And while this is an incredible superpower for detecting insincerity, it comes at a tremendous cost. For her, engaging with this kind of hollow social performance for an hour can feel like running a 5-mile race. This is the secret that explains so much. This is why quiet people often seem to retreat. They're not rejecting you or the world. They are making a deeply intelligent biological decision to protect their battery from the profound drain of inauthenticity. Our modern society relentlessly sells us a single, loud narrative, one that is broadcast 24/7 through the glowing screens in our pockets. It is the fear of missing out, or FOMO. This narrative screams that if you're not at the party, the networking event, the bustling center of social activity, you are failing. You are becoming irrelevant. But the quiet person, the deep processor, intuitively understands a different, more powerful principle: the joy of missing out, or JOMO. Let's think about an architect named Leo. It's Friday night, and his colleagues are all heading out for drinks. They pressure him to join, telling him he's missing out on crucial team bonding. And he feels it, that pang of guilt, the voice of the loyal follower we spoke of earlier, whispering that he should go, that he should perform, that he should be part of the group to secure his belonging. But the voice of his sovereign self does a quick, honest calculation. His social battery is at 20%. He knows that 2 hours of shouting over loud music and engaging in polite small talk will leave him completely depleted for the entire weekend, sacrificing his peace and creativity. So he makes a strategic choice. He politely declines and goes home. And in that moment, he doesn't enter isolation. He enters what Carl Jung would call the rich, fertile landscape of his inner world. He spends the next 3 hours completely absorbed in sketching a new design, losing all track of time. He enters that beautiful state of optimal experience that the psychologist Mihai Csikszentmihalyi named flow. This state, this deep immersion in meaningful work, doesn't drain his battery. It recharges it. You see, Leo is not missing out on life. He is engaging with it on a deeper, more meaningful level. He has chosen his creative sanctuary over shallow social obligation. And we must remember this profound truth. The world's greatest art, its most transformative literature, its most paradigm-shifting innovations were not born at loud parties or networking events. They were born in the focused, uninterrupted silence of a single mind. Our culture has sold us a very specific and very loud image of a leader. We have this misconception that to lead, one must be charismatic, dominant, constantly projecting energy. But what if the most effective leadership, the kind that truly transforms a group, is quiet? Consider a manager named Aisha. In team meetings, she rarely speaks first. While others are competing for airtime, passionately advocating for their own ideas, she is a pool of stillness in a river of noise. She is listening, yes, but she is doing something more. She is observing the group dynamics, noticing the alliances, the subtle power plays, and most importantly, she is noticing who isn't speaking. After 20 minutes of this chaotic brainstorming, when the initial wave of ego and excitement has crested and receded, when everyone has exhausted their rehearsed ideas, the room falls into a slightly awkward silence. And into that space, Aisha speaks. She asks one, maybe two carefully chosen questions. The questions are not attacks or criticisms. They are invitations. They are so insightful that they reframe the entire problem, opening up avenues no one had considered. Suddenly, the quietest person in the room has completely shifted its energy. This is a form of leadership rooted deeply in emotional intelligence. While others were focused on the output of energy, talking, performing, persuading, she was focused on the intake of information. She wasn't just hearing words. She was understanding motivations, seeing hidden patterns, and identifying the true core of the issue. She was, in a therapeutic sense, holding the space for the group's anxiety, allowing it to settle so that real clarity could emerge. And something magical happens in that space she creates. It becomes a zone of psychological safety. The other quiet people in the room, the ones who were intimidated by the initial chaos, now feel safe enough to contribute their more considered, nuanced ideas. Aisha demonstrates that you don't have to lead by force of personality. You can lead by force of insight, and often that is an infinitely more powerful and more sustainable way to move the world. So we see this thread of quiet power running through all of these stories. The sensitive radar for authenticity, the strategic and creative use of solitude, the profound strength of quiet observation. What this reveals, when we look closely, is a profound truth about our modern world. We have, as a culture, come to overvalue outward performance and dramatically undervalue inward reflection. Imagine our society as a vast ocean. The dominant culture celebrates the speedboats, the fast, loud, highly visible figures zipping across the surface. They create a lot of spray, they get a lot of attention, and their wake is felt by everyone. This is what we're told success looks like. Action, visibility, speed. But the quiet, deep processors are more like submarines. They move slowly, silently, and for the most part, entirely unseen beneath the surface. From their unique vantage point, they are not just seeing the waves. They are navigating the vast, complex, and beautiful world beneath it. They see the hidden currents of motivation, the deep-sea ecosystems of group dynamics, the entire forgotten architecture of the human psyche that the speedboat, in its noisy rush, knows nothing about. And this brings us to the great realization. It is not that one is better than the other. A healthy psychological world, just like a healthy ocean, needs both. The great realization is that our culture has been taught to admire the speedboat so intensely that we've forgotten the immense power, the wisdom, and the treasure that comes only from the depths. To dismiss this inner world as simply being shy or antisocial is as absurd as saying a submarine is just a broken boat. It misses the entire point of its magnificent design. The true superpower, then, the ultimate goal of psychological integration that Carl Jung called individuation, is to become a vessel that can navigate both realms. To develop the capacity to skim the surface when you need to engage, to connect, to participate in the world of doing. But to know, always, that your true strength, your anchor, and your most profound treasures lie in your ability to return to the quiet, insightful, sovereign world of the deep. That is not just survival, that is wholeness. So, the journey to honoring your own quiet nature, to trusting the wisdom of your inner world, isn't about rejecting society. It's not about building a fortress and never leaving. It's about learning to engage with the world more intentionally, more consciously. It's about finally understanding your own psychic energy economics so you can offer the very best of yourself to the people and the projects that truly matter instead of scattering your precious resources to the wind. It's about looking at your sensitive authenticity radar not as a bug or a source of anxiety, but as a finely tuned feature, a gift of discernment that helps you navigate a complex world. And perhaps most importantly, it's about embracing the profound truth that in a world that often feels like it's drowning in noise and frantic performance, your capacity for depth, for focus, and for clarity are among the most valuable and scarcest currencies you possess. So, let this be the new story you tell yourself. Your silence isn't emptiness. It is the fertile ground where reflection grows. Your selectivity isn't arrogance or being antisocial. It is intelligent resource management, an act of profound self-respect. You are not broken or flawed. You are a deep processor in a shallow world, and that in itself is a profound strength. This is a practice, not a destination, and it begins with a single conscious choice. So I'll leave you with this thought to carry with you. What is one shallow interaction you can consciously decline this week? Not out of fear, but out of wisdom? And where can you reinvest that precious, reclaimed energy into something deep that truly nourishes your soul? I know this topic resonates deeply with so many of you who have perhaps spent your whole lives feeling misunderstood, or like you were somehow running on a different operating system than the world around you. This journey toward understanding and honoring our own nature is a profound one, and it's one we don't have to take alone. In many ways, this is where the quiet, internal work we've discussed today finds its voice in the world. In a way, this space right here, the comment section, can become a modern-day library of personal wisdom. Every story shared, every strategy offered, becomes a book on the shelf for someone else who is just beginning to understand their own internal landscape. It's how we move from isolated theory into a living, breathing collective of shared insight. And so, I would genuinely love to hear from you. Thinking back on our energy economics, do you see yourself more as a solar panel or a rechargeable battery? And more importantly, what is one strategy, one small ritual or boundary that you use to protect your energy? Sharing your personal tactic could be exactly what someone else needs to hear today to start honoring their own nature. It's a small act of generosity that can have a huge impact. If this video offered you a moment of validation or clarity, please consider clicking the like button. It's a simple gesture, but it sends a signal that these deeper, more thoughtful conversations are needed in our noisy world, and it helps our community find other quiet thinkers like us. And of course, if you'd like to continue exploring the depths of the human mind together, please subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss our next deep dive into the art of living a conscious life. Thank you for sharing your time and your attention today. Let's continue to build a community that values depth, and let's continue this journey together.